Hi there, I'm Ben and welcome to the first part of my full Platinum walkthrough for Bloodborne. Finally. If you haven't seen one of my full walkthroughs before, I walk you through every single step of getting every single trophy in the game so that you can follow along and copy exactly what I do in real time. The only things I ever cut out are cutscenes and dialogue, and with this being a FromSoft game, that's not too much of a problem anyway. Everything you see in the videos has been practiced and researched, so no aimless wandering around. The guide will be as efficient as possible. Also, like it or not, I will be here for the duration. There's full commentary and I'll explain everything we're doing as we go along. While this guide is designed to be for everyone, I am going to be explaining everything in detail for the benefit of people who haven't played Bloodborne or any Souls game before. I will explain most things as we go, but I will just mention the quick outline of the guide. This is a single playthrough Platinum guide. We will be using backup saves at the end to get all 3 endings. Also, it's going to just be the base game. I will be covering the Old Hunters DLC, but separately after we have the Platinum. So make sure to keep your backup save from the end of the game. You don't want to be doing the DLC in New Game Plus. One last thing, the videos are going to be an area each. So this first one will be covering the entirety of Central Yharnam, the first area of the game. Then the next one will be Old Yharnam, and so on. Not all episodes will be as long as this one. Right, that's enough sort of preface. Let's get this started. Okay, so the first thing I'll mention now is I'm going to be offline. I'm going to be playing offline. You can play online if you want. That's up to you. There is nothing. It's not going to break the game. You're not going to miss anything if you do online, not unlike something like Demon Souls. The only reason I'm doing offline is that we could be on a level playing field. I'm not going to get invaded by anyone, and I'm not going to be able to summon other random people. So we will all have the same level playing field, so to speak. So enter your name, whatever you want to do. And then most importantly, you want to go down to Origin. So the stats on the side here, we have level, blood echoes, vitality, endurance, strength, skill, blood tinge and arcane. The 3 we can just sort of ignore for now are skill, blood tinge and arcane. Probably not going to touch those at all. Maybe a bit of skill, but that doesn't really matter. What we're looking for is high strength, endurance and vitality. So the one I'm actually going to choose, as you go down here, there will be different levels. So these are basically templates, character templates. I'm going to be making a very basic strength build because it's very easy to follow along with, very easy to use, and it's good for beginners. So yeah, blood tinge and arcane are definitely for later on when you get more experienced. So the best 2 to start with are either military veteran or violent past. I'm going to be choosing violent past because it has the highest in vitality, endurance and strength. It has the highest strength. And then vitality and endurance is good as well. So that's the one I'm going to start with. And those are the 3 points we're going to put in levels into, basically. Strength, vitality and endurance. So it keeps it nice and simple. And after a few cutscenes and things like that, you will wake up and you'll be in this room. This is this is storytelling in Bloodborne right here. This is it. So you'll find these notes randomly dotted about. They're not needed for Platinum or any trophy, so don't worry about missing any. They are just that story as far as Bloodborne goes. So the first thing you're going to do is walk down here. You got a few notes around. These are obviously telling you how to attack and things and lock on. So R1 is a normal right-handed light attack. R2 is a strong right-hand attack. L2 is a strong left-hand attack. Hold L2 or R2 and you'll get a charge attack. That is very important. Charge attacks are very important. And here's the first enemy. And all you need to do is try and hit it in the ass and let it kill you. You can run past it. You can do all this and try and get past it. But just die to it. It's so much easier and quicker. So yeah, there you go. First death in the bag. So you'll see there I've got 180 blood echoes in the top corner. That's our currency. That is about to disappear. So this is the only time this will happen. But when you die for the first time in the game, you will come back here to Hunter's Dream. This is the safe place. This is a nice place to be. Hunter's Dream. You'll see my echoes, blood echoes are gone. We'll get those back shortly. So here, choose your weapon. I'm going to choose the Hunter Axe. Ultimately, it's down to you what you want to do. The Hunter Axe for the main reason I choose it is the is the charge R2 attack. It's ridiculously powerful, and another good thing is it has a very good rally percentage, base rally percentage. I'll talk about rally when we actually get into combat. It's just the weapon I like. I'm actually going to use that all the way through. Ultimately, yes, any weapon, you can choose any weapon. But yes, that's the one I'm going to be using. You can buy the others that I missed later on from this place here. The gun I chose as well was the blunderbuss because it's best for parrying as opposed to the pistol, which is more for shooting towards heads and doing a bit more damage. So when you've done that, you want to actually equip your hunter axe and your gun of choice, blunderbuss or whatever, pistol. I would definitely recommend my setup, especially if you're going to follow along with this completely. This is the best sort of setup to start with, especially if you're going to be doing this strength exactly the same as me, and then just kind of get used to how the axe works. It does have two forms, so when you press L1, you will go into two-handed form. This is the way I will use the weapon mostly. To leave Hunter's Dream, you need to go onto one of these gravestones. These are kind of like the world gravestones, a bit like Demon Souls if you've played that. And then you'll teleport right back to the start, and you'll be back in Iosefka's clinic. This is the room we came out of at the start. Iosefka is now here, and the door is shut. Whatever you do, do not try and swing through the door and kill her. Just speak to her, and she'll give you a vial, a blood vial, Iosefka's blood vial. It's a strong blood vial. I'll explain blood vials in a moment when we get some, but they are basically healing things. You can only carry one of Iosefka's, but you can get as many as you like just by returning to her. So you can see the wolf has kind of purple glowing eyes now. That's because it has my blood echoes, because it is the enemy that killed me. So you will see there the blood echoes have been retrieved because I killed it. So that is automatic, that will happen. So loot its body and then leave, and you'll be picking up blood vials and exiting into the world. So yes, sometimes your blood echoes will be on the floor in like a patch. I will show you later on if that happens to me. When you die, they'll either be in a patch on the floor, or an enemy, most likely an enemy will have them, and they'll have kind of glowing eyes. So this is it, we're going into the main world now. I've switched back to one-handed for a moment just to show you that parrying is a thing in this game, and you actually use your gun to parry. So if you press L2, you're going to use your gun. And I'm not the best at parrying. I don't use it often, but it is necessary for some bosses. So when an enemy attacks, you kind of need to time it. So as the attack sort of comes down, then you shoot with your gun. It will leave them open to an R1 attack. If you press R1 when they're kind of staggered like that, you'll do a visceral attack, and you will more than likely kill them. If it's a boss, you'll do massive damage. Not all enemies can be stunned like that, but most small enemies can be. Again, I don't use it often, but it's a necessity for some bosses, and especially NPCs, things like that. Smaller, quicker enemies, it can definitely help just to slow them down. So yeah, it's something you're going to want to try and get used to, but yeah, don't worry about it too much. Just practice it now and again, just so you're kind of aware. Yeah, so you can see I've got 11 blood vials at the top there and 18 silver Quicksilver Bullets. They are obviously numbered. You can run out, and unlike anything like Dark Souls or anything like that, they don't refresh when you go to here, which is kind of like your bonfire. That's a lamp. Whenever you die now, you will go back to this lamp. Speak to this guy here briefly. Not important right now. Just speak to him quickly. We'll get a weapon from him later on. Doesn't matter if you don't speak to him. You can still get the weapon, but just worth mentioning. Pebbles, completely useless. Like I do with my other guides as well, the bottom right hand corner is the next item you will definitely get. Any random drops that I get from enemies, I'm not going to mark, because obviously you might not get them. So yeah, just be aware of that. So yeah, dying in this game, it will happen a lot. Don't worry about it. Honestly, do not worry about it. Yeah, like I said, your blood echoes will go to the enemy that killed you. If you die while you're on your way back to your blood echoes, they're gone forever. It's disheartening. It hurts when it happens to you, when you lose, especially if you lose a lot. But again, don't worry. Just, it happens. It's not the end of the world. You don't lose just general items or anything like that. The only thing you lose is your echoes, which is your currency for leveling up and buying things. It's okay. So I'll just explain Rally here. No, probably not a very good enemy. The next enemy is a best one. The big guy I'm going to deal with in a moment. So I'm going to go around here, go down these stairs, press triangle to use a blood vial. You see it went down there. So blood vials are dropped by enemies. And you can purchase them from the bath as well. You can hold 20 base up to 24 later on. You will find a lot of them, and you can farm them later on if you do kind of run out. If you go over 20, they will automatically go back to kind of the Hunter's Dream, that sort of area in your inventory, and they will automatically be added if you die. So you're going to see Rally in effect in a moment. So you can see when I get hit, like that, if I hit him back, which I'm not going to do, yeah, I'm going to hit it back now. Not the best example. Okay. When he hits me, my health bar goes down and it goes slightly orange, and it doesn't disappear straight away. If you attack into any enemy straight afterwards, then your health will come back, and that's called Rally. The percentage is different with the weapons that you're using. The Hunter's Axe has one of the best percentages, so that's another good reason to use it early on as well. So yeah, that's quite a hard enemy there. The reason I go down and kill him is to try and get a random drop. He can drop something called a blood gem, and if he does that for you, you'll get a trophy if you pick it up. Don't worry about it if you don't. I didn't. It's fine. You can't equip it yet anyway. You can by the end of this episode. This episode we're actually going to kill 2 bosses. We're going to go as far as Oedon Chapel, so past Father Gascoigne, if you know who that is. We're going to be fighting him. So yeah, 2 bosses, but we're going to have help, so don't worry about that. Yeah, this is probably one of the most densely populated with regards to enemies areas in the whole game. That was a weird sentence. There are a lot of enemies in this place, in one place, that can come after you in one go. That doesn't happen a lot. There you can see Rally in effect. My health went up as he kind of he hit me, and then I went back in to hit him. You should see it again in a moment. There we go. So my health is kind of down at the moment. I hit him, it goes back up again. You have about 5 seconds from getting hit to when it actually starts to go down properly. So yeah, it's actually helps with regards to being more aggressive. If you are used to Dark Souls and you haven't played Bloodborne yet, you can't hide. There's one shield in this game, and it's a joke shield. It's the wooden shield. It's completely useless. So yeah, aggression is actually a good thing. In a way, you don't get overly aggressive because you will still die very quickly. But yeah, it's very good to sort of push forward and get the damage in. You saw there I just picked up a blood shard, a bloodstone shard. That's an upgrade material for later on for our weapons. It's very basic in this game. Only 4 levels of upgrade materials as opposed to something like Demon Souls, which has hundreds of the bloody things. Yeah, it's just 4 base things, and all weapons use the same things. Blood shards, blood rocks is the top one. Yeah, so we'll be picking those up. We'll be upgrading the weapon twice, our weapon twice in this episode. So yeah, you can see I'm doing a charge R2. That's one of the reasons I love this weapon. You're going to see me do it again. It does a double swing like that. The most important of the 2 swings is the second one, because that second swing will knock quite a few enemies back onto their arse basically, and give you time to sort of recalculate. Especially in a crowd like that, it can be really, really helpful. Like I said, this is one of the most densely populated areas with regards to enemies, and it can be very off-putting, especially as this is right at the beginning of the game. The rest of the game is not really like this. Sure, there's lots of enemies about in the game, but not in this sort of volume. There's a good 20 or so people here. And they can, if you just run in, they will annihilate you like this. So you're going to see, look out in the top corner, the top left, for the rally thing going in effect. If you ever see a guy with a gun, then go and take him on straight away. Yeah, or just hide behind this carriage. There's another guy up to the right with a gun. So you can see rally again. If I hit there, you're going to see my health goes back up again. So it's just a case of dancing around. So you can see I'm sort of dodging around that circle. I'm using that to sort of strafe to the side, looking for my attack. So I'm going to hit charge R2. Another thing with the charge R2 as well is it goes very well with the rally mechanic. You don't need to be worried about getting hit while you do it, because you're going to get the health straight back as the attack makes contact with the enemy. So it's just, I love the weapon, and I will use it for the whole game. Yeah, that's all I'll say about it. I won't keep going on about it. I know some people don't like it and think it's not that good, but I think it's fine. I can finish the whole game with it, so can you, so it can't be that bad. Yeah, but I will show you other weapons as well, because they all do have benefits. Some are quicker, obviously. The Hunter's Axe can be slow in situations. Here's some Coldblood Dew. Think of that as kind of banked blood echoes. You can kind of crack that when you need some blood echoes. That was a level 1, so it's only worth 350, so not a lot. I don't use them frequently. I just use them to top up when I'm leveling up. If I need a few more, I'll just crack a few just to get me over the threshold to level up again. The door is shaking. Big enemy. Don't worry, very easy enemy if you can handle them, if you know how to handle them. We're not going to fight him just yet. He won't burst through the door, so don't worry about that. We're actually going to go and open up a very important shortcut. This is so you can put your mind at ease, basically. So you won't have to fight those enemies we've just done. You'll never have to fight them again. That's done, that area, once you're through here. So look for these coffins and things on the back wall here against this near this tree. Smash them up, and you'll see there's a gap. We're going to drop down. Kill these dogs, why not? They're caged. One of them does come after you down the stairs here. You can see it. I'm trying to get it to come out now. There it is. That one will always break out and come after you. The others not so much. So kill them in the cages, you get some free blood echoes, that's all it is. And then run up these stairs and go back. We've basically done a full circle at this point. Not these stairs, there's just an item up here. I'm just going to grab this, some more Coldblood Dew. So the bracketed number is its kind of level. The higher that number is, the more kind of blood echoes you'll get from it. Don't go to the right just yet. Big enemies down there, we'll deal with that later. Get through here and open up the shortcut. That's the most important thing. Guy here, so watch out for him. And then the guy, I shouldn't tell you really, but if you go for this item, there's a guy in this chair. He's gonna shoot you or hit you. I think he does. I forget. It's been so long since he hit me. The pungent thing that I just picked up then, that's for beasts. It will come in later on. A lot later on, we will use that. The Pungent Cocktails, that's for getting the attention of beasts, or diverting the attention of beasts, should I say. Very helpful in certain boss fights. Another Bloodstone Shard, so some more upgrade materials. And then the greatest, one of the greatest feelings in this game is to open up a gate and realise you're back where you were, because that means you don't need to do that area ever again. You can just come through this gate if you die from now on and continue on. Right, we're going to get ready to go and do a boss, but I'm going to make it easier for us. We're actually going to do a bit of an unconventional path and make it a bit easier by getting some insight, which is another mechanic in the top right corner there. You can see an eye. I'll explain it in a moment. I'll just explain with these guys. Slowly get one at a time. Charge R2. Let him get back up a bit. Charge R2 and you will kill them. 2 charges will kill those guys. Just let them kind of come to you. And yeah, that was a bit weird with the tracking there. Yeah, very easy, slow enemies. They look very intimidating, but just sort of back away and let them come to you rather than running in, and you'll be fine. So, insight. You get it various ways. The 2 main ways are if you see a boss or kill a boss. So the first time you ever see a boss, you'll get 1 insight. And if you kill them, it's either 2 or 3. And from something called Madman's Knowledge, which is what we're going to get in a moment. So you can see we're back at the shortcut here. I said there was 2 enemies down those stairs. That's the ones I was talking about. And now we're going to go back up onto the... Well, we're going to go up onto the bridge a different way than you usually would. So yeah, Madman's Knowledge is another item we're going to get. We want an insight because it opens up the leveling in the game. And we're going to do that before we go and take on the first boss. Having insight is... It's important for summoning help. That's the main thing we'll be using it for. You can also use it to buy certain items later on. You can't really lose it. There's an enemy that does take it from you, which is quite annoying. You can't lose it from dying, so don't worry about that. It is something that builds up over the game. It's actually better to not have any than have some, which is weird. So yeah, what I'm doing here, while going off on a tangent, 2 werewolves on the bridge. Run, get their attention, run back to this dark room. They can't get in here. Just hit them in the face until they're dead. So there is 2 of them. I think the other one comes down the stairs in a moment. Here, you can see him. Yeah, so just do this the easy way. So you can see rally in effect again. So you can see my health was down, and then it's gone up because I managed to make contact just in time. A good thing to get in habit of as well, big enemies like these werewolves, and the big guys that I dealt with before, the big brick guys, they will most of the time drop blood vials, your health item. So which does this one drop? Yes, it does. So you can see 2 went to my inventory elsewhere and 1 into the one that I'm holding now. So I've got 20. If you've got low health, even if you're not full, or you don't want to use a full blood vial, just use one anyway. So you can always keep your maximum just before you know you're going to pick some up. That's one of the best places to farm blood vials as well later on. The 2 big guys and those 2 werewolves, you can net yourself 10 blood vials pretty quickly, and a nice amount of blood echoes. Especially later in the game, you can just fly through there and one-hit each of those enemies. It's just a good place to run and get them. Yeah, so Pebble's completely useless. I think that for getting the attention of enemies, I don't know why they're in the game, to be honest. But what we're going to go do now is take a bit of a shortcut, a bit of a detour. So break these down, grab the blood shard there, and carefully make your way down here. It's a big drop if you fall off, so you don't want to die just yet. There is another ladder there. You can I'm kind of show you there, just sort of below me here. There is another ladder, so we'll be going down to the bottom. For some new enemies, well, 2 sets of new enemies, the rats and these more advanced kind of beast men. The ones with the saws like this aren't too bad. Again, charge R2 will take care of them, no problem. So get them nice and close. What I was doing there was trying to make him attack, but he wasn't having any of it. So he would attack into the floor, and that would leave me enough time to charge an R2 and hit him in the face. So hopefully this one does it. I think this one doesn't attack either. No, don't give him the time. Straight into him. And again, so endurance, I've not actually mentioned yet, is the green bar on the left hand side. When that runs out, obviously you can't throw an attack out. So you need endurance. You need to manage your endurance carefully. We're going to be building that bar up pretty quickly, so we can do two charge R2s, one after another. A charge R2 at this point takes up your whole bar, so you will have to kind of walk backwards a bit and time it perfectly, which I'm not going to do in a moment. I'm going to drop down here and I'm going to die. So firstly I'm going to do a drop attack on this rat here. So as you drop, if you hold R1 or R2, you'll do a drop attack and attack straight into them as you fall. This guy's going to kill me because you're going to see a badly timed charge R2. So it is a kind of a double-edged sword. You can see how long their attack range is. So you want to kind of dodge past them. Unlike Dark Souls, Demon Souls, something like that, the iframe window on Bloodborne is not very good, the invincibility frame. So as you dodge, you have a little bit of invincibility. Here is a badly timed R2. So I'm not going to do the run back. I'm just going to show you me running back. I'm not going to show you the whole process of me dying. Doesn't happen often, or hopefully it won't happen often. See, the rat here has my blood echoes. Basically, I've run back. I've just run that whole path back from the lamp all the way through, across the bridge, kill the wolves, all that, drop back down, and then I'm here again. So yes, you can't really rely on dodging past attacks. You need to kind of stay back. You can see how big the... yeah, he's getting me again. It's not fun. I hate these guys. Yeah, you need to kind of look for the window of opportunity as opposed to kind of dodging through attack. You can still dodge through attacks, but it's not as easy as it would be in something like the Souls series. So you can't rely on it too much, but it is still possible. It's definitely a shorter window. So what I've just picked up here is some more clothing. Like the axe, this is the only clothing I will wear the whole time. Clothing isn't really like armor from Dark Souls or Demon Souls. It does have some better resistances depending on which ones you have. That was a bad... What I was trying to do there was jump on the plank and drop down. Don't worry if you don't make it and you hurt yourself. What we want to do that is take a bit of a shortcut and drop down. We will be back here later on. So yeah, clothing. We will be using... You may change it now and again just for a better resistance against fire or poison or something. But for the most part, it's just how you want to look. So that's where we've just come from. We've dropped down. What you're supposed to do is grab what you need and then run back up again. But we've dropped down because we're going to go and get some Madman's knowledge and get some insight. So watch these crows. These are horrible enemies as well. They don't really hurt that much, but they can sort of stun lock you almost. If you get into that attack there, they'll keep knocking you back and chipping away at your damage, and it's quite horrible. And they only drop pebbles. So what we need here is the Madman's knowledge. So grab that, but do not use it just yet. You're going to want to make a save or a backup save just before you use it, because we've only got one at our expense right now at this point in the game, without seeing any bosses, that is. So just for now, just keep it banked and we'll use it in a moment. Use this ladder and we're going to open up another shortcut. Amazing level design in this game, it really is. This window here, these red lamped windows are NPCs. This girl is going to talk to you here. She's going to ask about her dad and her mother, mostly her mother. Can you go and find her? You want to say yes, you will, and she will give you the tiny music box. This is very important for one of the boss fights later on. So say find girl's mother. She will give you the music box and tell you that her dad is Father Gascoigne and that he doesn't like the music, or he likes the music, should I say. He won't like it when we play it, but we're going to use this in the boss fight against him, and try and find her mum. Bit of a... Well, it's a very sad storyline, this is where we're going to leave it, though. It's actually the best thing you can do for this girl is speak to her now, grab that music box, and never speak to her again. Because if you do take her red brooch back from her mother, that we will find later on, she will leave and she will die. So the best thing you can do for her is just leave her at home. So yeah, we're in the back area where all those guys were. We're in the back. That's the big guy there was the guy that was smashing on the gate earlier on. And then we came up this way and we dropped down. We're going to do exactly the same thing again and get back to the lamp. And use our insight and open up the game a bit more. So these dogs, you remember these, I'm sure. Just going to get this one's attention. We don't want him running up on us when we don't expect it. There we go. So we will be back to all these areas. It might seem like we're skipping places. Don't worry, we will be coming back to them. And just kind of opening the game up a bit more, making things a bit easier. That's what we're doing here. Because to level up, you need to speak to the doll who's in Hunter's Dream. She will not wake up unless you have one insight. So what I'm going to say now is quit out and do a backup save. So quit out the game. You need, every time you want to quit out the game, go to this this cog icon, settings icon, should I say. Quit out. Go make a backup save using PlayStation Plus or a USB, whatever you want. And then use your Madman's knowledge. So go into your consumables and then use it, and you'll see that the insight has gone up to 1. Now we can go back to Hunter's Dream doing this. All enemies will come back, by the way. Whenever you leave an area, the enemies will come back. And now that we have an insight, the doll has woken up, and we now have the beckoning bell and the silencing blank, therefore getting NPCs. Most importantly though, we want this one, the old hunter bell. This is for getting in-game NPCs to help us, so ones that we can all use. The other bell is for getting random players to come and help you. I'm not online, so I can't do it. Like I said, I want to make this as universal for everybody, so I'm just going to be using the in-game NPCs. This is Gehrman. Talk to him for a bit if you like, and then go over to this workbench here and upgrade your hunter's axe. You should be able to just do one. It will take 3 bloodstone shards, 5 for the next one. We will definitely have enough shortly, but yeah, for the time being, just put the 1 upgrade into it. Makes it a bit stronger. It goes up to +10. That's the maximum. You can only +10 2 weapons per playthrough. There used to only be one blood rock that you can find in the game. We can actually purchase one with 60 insight actually. So speak to the doll once you've done that, and this is where you level up. So a brief explanation of leveling. You go into the leveling. You can see here, Vitality, Endurance, Strength, Skill, Blood Tinge and Arcane. Forget Blood Tinge and Arcane. We're not going to be using it. It's more for more advanced weapons. So if you go to Vitality, Strength or Endurance and kind of move it to the right with using the D-pad, you'll see what is being improved if you upgrade it. The blue number on the right hand side, you can see how it's going up. So Blood Tinge, Arcane, we're not going to be using it. I'm just doing some examples here of what we want to do. What we want right now is Vitality and Endurance. Strength is quite high already, but once we get to 20, I think it's 20 Endurance, you can do 2 charge R2s one after another and effectively knock most enemies back and kill them very quickly. So yeah, I roughly get the figures there that I've got. 14, 13, 16 should be good enough for now. Like I said, it can get very advanced with Blood Tinge and Arcane and different types of weapons. I'm just keeping it very simple. Strength, health, stamina for now. You can branch off if you like, because we're going to find weapons later on, and if you want to branch off and do something else, that is entirely up to you, of course. So we're back in the lamp that we've been to many a times. We're actually going to go a different way on the bridge this time and go and get someone to help us with the first boss. So yeah, I'm just going to go up this way and just clear out the enemies like I have done before. Going to get those werewolves to get stuck in the door and take them out. Yeah, kill these guys because they'll just come up behind you. So yeah, the first boss we're going to do is the Cleric Beast. He's off to the left hand side. You will need to get used to that as well. With this axe it can be a bit different. Difficult is if you're near a wall, you'll hit the wall and not the enemy, and that can put you in some dangerous situations. So be aware of that. You can't hit through walls. Not all walls. Some walls you can. It's weird. It's kind of, you can't really hit through corners. That kind of seems to be it. Like, you're going to see me hit through the wall here, but if I were to just swing at the corner of the wall, I would just clang against the wall. So it's something you need to kind of get a feel for as well, so you know when you're able to attack. Because some walls you can just straight up attack through walls, and you can use that to your advantage for sure. Yeah, corners mostly. If you try and hit through a corner, you will clang against it. So get a bit cocky here and just try and kill this thing, but again, endurance gets the best of me. What you will also see me doing is, as an enemy falls, they're already dead, you'll see me carry on swinging. This is for the rally effect. I'm trying to add more health. There is a window from when an enemy dies to when you stop getting health back from them. So if you're quick here, if you run down those stairs quickly, you can do a charge R2 and take every single one of those guys out. All 4 of them, including one dog. So yeah, quickly run down. If not, they'll circle around here and you'll have to take them out kind of one at a time and be a bit more cautious. Dogs are definitely one you want to watch and kind of get rid of first. The reason I was waiting then was trying to get the dog towards me, but it wasn't having any of it. Here's the big guy. So once you're up here, this big guy will automatically come after you, so be aware of that. Yeah, you can see he kind of hit me then, but I hit him at the same time, so the health didn't really move because the rally thing came into effect. So yeah, easy 2 charge R2s on that guy. So that's the shortcut for the little girl. Up here is another item, so we'll just grab that. So this is the fence we looked through earlier on. Through there is where all the guys are from the start of the game, with the bonfire thing, the werewolf that's on fire. Then we go down to this fountain, and we've kind of done full circle. We've kind of finished this area now. This item here, the torch, is one of the weapons we need for a trophy. It's one of the weapons we need. There's very few actual missable things in this game, but I will explain things that are missable when we get to them. So here's our first summon, which we'll get in a moment. That is Father Gascoigne. He's going to help us with the Cleric Beast. So because we have an insight, we can summon him. So if you want to do another backup save before doing this, it's advised. If you don't feel like you're going to be able to do this boss first time, or you don't know what to expect, do another backup save, because once you spend your insight, you're not going to get one back. It's gone forever. So summoning somebody costs an insight, and you'll be back down to 0. So be sure you're going to take on the Cleric Beast and win. Do a backup save there if you're not sure. And then summon Gascoigne. So enemies won't respawn unless you leave an area or die. So if you quit out, enemies will stay dead, so don't worry about that. The reason I clear enemies out first is because we want Gascoigne at full health, because we want him to stick around for boss fight, for the whole fight. So summoning somebody to help you with a fight like that is kind of a double-edged sword. It helps obviously because you've got somebody else with you and there's more damage output, but bosses gain more health. So for some bosses it's definitely better to not summon any help. But for some, like this one, it can be helpful. Beasts, it can be quite helpful because they kind of divert your attention away. So yeah, I'm not going to be summoning with all bosses, but I will let you know if there is a summon in case you want one. Not all of them have one available. I don't know what you're doing there. Not all of them have one available, but Cleric Beast does. Sadly, Gascoigne doesn't. So I'm going to be putting the Molotov cocktails into my quick select there. Press square to use any item from that menu and press down to cycle through it. The thing we're fighting is a beast. Beasts are weak to fire and serrated blades, so something like the saw spear or the saw cleaver. They are kind of weak to them. It does a bit more bonus damage, so to speak. Fire is actually very good against beasts, and if you have an oil urn like I do, you should have it as well. Then you can throw that on first and it does extra fire damage. Not essential, but it can help. So yeah, what you want to do is just kind of strafe round and stay behind him as much as possible. So the only reason we've got Gascoigne here is to divert the attention of the Cleric Beast. What you want to do as well is stay away from his big arm, so dodge to his left hand side. Most bosses and bigger enemies, dodging to the left hand side is the advisable way to go. It's weird, I don't know why, but left does seem to be the does have less danger, fewer hitboxes and things like that. So yeah, just keep wailing on this guy. Charge R2s, R1s, whatever you want. If it's getting a bit risky, just back away for a moment like that, heal a bit, and jump straight back into it. Now this boss might seem imposing when you first see it here, he's a big old beast, but he's not actually that bad. You can actually do him quite comfortably on your own. Like I said, his health has gone up because I do have Gascoigne with me, so it is kind of give and take. But for newcomers, you're going to probably want some help, and I thought this was the best thing to show you. So if you don't want to get Gascoigne with you, then don't feel like you have to. But he is going to help. Another thing you can do with beasts like this, if you have the Hunter Pistol instead of the Blunderbuss, is you can aim for their head using R3 and switch it round. And you can do damage to their head, and they will get sort of stunned for a moment, and you'll open them up to a riposte, and you'll be able to do massive damage to them. But we're just going to finish him off with fire because Gascoigne's still here. So yeah, it's that whole rally situation again. You might be taking hits, but if you just keep going, as long as he's not directly trying to hit you, you will get your health back, and that will be it. You'll get your first trophy, you'll get a hunter badge, which allows you to buy new weapons. Most importantly, we do need all of those. It is automatic, so don't worry. And then Gascoigne will disappear forever, well, until we fight him. And there's a new lamp. And we're going to go back to Hunter's Dream and spend our blood echoes while we have some. So that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Well, what is it you... Very well.
So we're going to channel blood echoes. And yeah, just the main three again. Mainly vitality, endurance at this point, and if you're near, you can see they're required in red. If what you have versus what you require for your next level is kind of close, then you can use some Coldblood Dew that you will have in your inventory to get some more blood echoes and just put you over the edge, so you can put another level in. And after you've leveled, we will go straight back into the fray and carry on. So we will be back at this lamp again. Don't worry though, we're going a different way, so it might seem initially at first with this area that you're killing the same enemies over and over again. Don't worry, it's not like that the whole time. It's just how we're kind of structuring this, because we've went a bit to the side to get that Madman's knowledge and do some extra things. Usually you wouldn't even come that way, you'd come the other way and just carry on from that big group, take on the first brick guy that was trying to break the door down, go up to the fountain where we got Gascoigne, and then go up to the bridge that way. That's kind of the main path, but we went a different route, so don't worry. We're actually going to go down to where these dogs are now and continue through central Yharnam. So this is all central Yharnam we're doing at the moment. So kill some dogs because it's extra. Just watch out for this one. I believe the ones in the cage can break through. I think they can. I feel like I've had more cages than this open before. Maybe not. There's one to the left here, so watch out. There's a nice little surprise here for you. This will happen often as well, enemies kind of surprising you, so just watch out for that. Next we're going to get something called a Bold Hunter's Mark. This is from a very, very important NPC, in the fact that you either need to kill her now or speak to her. Not this old woman here, this is the one I'm talking about. She will automatically talk to you. We can save her later on, so don't worry about her yet. We can tell her to go to the chapel later on. The one we do want is Eileen. Eileen? Yeah, Eileen. Irene? Eileen the Crow. She's down here, so break those barrels, break these barrels, and then come up here and speak to her. So if you speak to her twice, so go through the motions, she'll give you Bold Hunter's Mark, which allow you to go back to the last lamp you rested at while keeping all of your blood echoes. They're quite handy. Don't use them often. Keep them for emergencies. And keep going, and she'll give you a gesture which you can use by using the left hand side of the touchpad. If you press down on it, you can use gestures. There's only one gesture we need in the game, so don't worry about that. And she has a badge that we need for certain weapons, so at this point you can either kill her or kind of just exhaust your conversation with her and leave her. Killing her is difficult, especially if you're new and you don't know how to take on NPCs yet. Make sure you cut these two bodies down as well, by the way. Killing her is fine. We need her to die. We're actually going to use another NPC to kill her and make it easier. She has a side quest that we've kind of started off now. It is very, very important to speak to her or kill her at this point. Otherwise, she can disappear for the whole game. Later on, we will not see her in the Cathedral Ward. So either kill her if you feel confident enough, or just speak to her and we'll deal with it later on. Either of those two. Probably just speak to her. She is tough, and if you do aggro her, you have no choice but to kill her. So just speak to her, and we'll use another NPC to kill her outright later on. Yes, she has a badge, so we need certain badges that allow us to buy weapons, and certain enemies, NPCs, carry these badges, and she is one of them. We can find them elsewhere as well, not just NPCs that carry them. We're going to find one later on, like we got one from the boss as well before. Yeah, so watch out for these guys, the guy with all the bullets more specifically, and then pick all the items up before we drop down. So yeah, I can't stress that enough. Eileen, make sure you speak to her. It's one of the very few missable things in this game. But yeah, don't worry, not much is missable. It might seem like there might be, because Demon Souls, Dark Souls, they have lots of intricate things, but Bloodborne is very generous and quite easy to deal with, really. But Eileen is definitely one of the missable things. So I'm going to drop down now and pick these items up that we cut down earlier on. Rats can be annoying in groups. On their own they are fine, so a nice charge R2 will take care of the group. There we go. They usually drop oh, throwing knives, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, they usually drop random things. Saw spear, so that's one of the weapons. We can actually buy the saw spear, so but finding it is obviously the cheaper way. Not all weapons can be found, but some can, so there was the saw spear. That was one of the bodies that we cut down from the top. Here's another Madman's knowledge. We will potentially use that later on. You can see my insight is at 4. That's because we saw the Cleric beast and then defeated him. So we got 1 for seeing him, 3 for defeating him. So once you come out into the sewers here, there's nothing off. I'm just showing you here this side. There's nothing on this side. We're actually going to be going back up top so we can drop down to the other side to get another item. Enemies up top, so watch out. I wasn't expecting... They don't usually shoot at you so aggressively. But there's 2 rifle guys behind me. And they are straight on me, which is not how it usually goes down here. So you can usually run back in here quickly. And this guy will follow you. And you can take care of him with the good old charge R2 if you don't time it wrong. It's the length of their weapon is the problem with these ones. Yeah, it's getting used to the enemies for sure. Every enemy is different. You have to handle them all differently. Some are definitely a lot easier than others. Like these rifle guys, obviously they have a reload time. And that's the time you go and strike. So they both shoot, they both reload, they both die. Yeah. So get rid of those, and then we're going to run back into that main room in a moment. Once we just clear this out, and drop down to get another item, which is a blood shard, I believe. Yeah, bloodstone shard, ×2. So that was the other body that we cut down from the top. We'll go and get that now. Yeah, so in here, and then drop down this left-hand side this time. There will be rats up here. There's one. So what I'm doing at this point now is just collecting things. I'm not going to collect all items in the game, but I will collect the majority of them, especially if they can help us later on. Things like Bloodstone Shard are very, very important right now because we need to upgrade our weapon. You can see there, I'm just checking, I have 5, so we needed 3 for the first one. You should have definitely had 3 when we did that. You should definitely have 5 by now, I believe. If you don't have 5, you may have 4. I think one of mine might have been a random drop. You may just have 4, but we will get some more later on, so don't worry. There's actually some there on that plank that over there, which I forget to get in a second. I looked at them just then. I remember looking at them as I was running down here, thinking I must remember to drop down and pick those up, and I completely forget. But I do notice as soon as I drop down and go and get them, so don't worry, I don't miss them. But if you remember, in a moment, once we've killed these crows and got this item, these oil urns round here, if you drop down onto the plank rather than what I do, you'll save yourself a moment. So yeah, I should have just dropped down. I completely went out of my mind and dropped down this side. Trying to remember too many things while recording, that must be it. Anyway, so drop down. These are horrible. These are like, I don't know what is going on with these. Are like failed experiments or something. I don't know what is going on. They've got really long arms but no legs, so they just kind of crawl around and try and hit you with their arms, which they do have a long reach. Just don't let them corner you. You should be fine. They are quite slow, and there are actually quite a lot of them. Unfortunately, it's not 1 charged R2. It's 1 plus some change. But yeah, if you don't want to keep doing these charge R2s, then don't feel like you have to. It's just how I like to. It just makes the game so much simpler, especially with when you're in groups of enemies. Just to get that knockback is helps so much. So now I'm going to realise that yes, well, no, I'd already realised there is a ladder over here, so you can climb back up and go and get it. So yeah, just climb up here and you'll be back on that first level where the rats were, and that's one of the crows that fell down from before. Crows only drop pebbles, so yeah, completely useless. Horrible enemies to deal with if there's a bunch of them, and they never drop anything good. So yeah, I do apologise for having to do this, but I've run all the way back round here again, and I'll pick this bloodstone shard up. So you should definitely have 5 at this point once you've dropped down and grabbed this. That's enough to get the whatever weapon you are using up to +2. So it's always the same cost for all weapons. There we go. Now we can continue and then drop down. So we are nearly at Gascoigne, we're nearly at the boss. So yeah, this was a long video. Not all the videos will be this long. This is a fairly long area. Obviously we have the kind of intro and getting used to things, taking it a bit easier. But yeah, some areas can be quite short. So yeah, all videos are going to have a separate area dedicated to them. So it's nice and easy to find out if you want to look for a video for a certain area. Right, crows. They do like to surprise you. There is another bloodstone shard. Yes, you can see in the bottom corner there. Just to the right in a moment. We'll go and get that. God, these things are horrible looking. Some of the enemy design in this game is unbelievable. What sort of mind did this come from? I do not know. So we'll grab these items in a moment. And we'll just go down. Kill this one. And this is a bloodstone shard. The game does become much easier when you're able to do something straight after doing a charge attack. It's just our stamina is low at the moment, our endurance, so we will be getting it up. Do not run down this tunnel. You see just at the end there. Yeah, let's just deal with these. They just come from nowhere. God, these birds. Yeah, at the end of this tunnel you can just make out there's a pig down here, a massive boar. If you tell that little girl later on, or give her the red brooch that we're going to get later on, if you give it to the little girl, she will leave her house and look for her mother. She will come down into this tunnel and get eaten by that pig, which is terrifying. So the best thing to do is leave her at home and just ignore her. It's basically saving her life if you do. So once you've come up this ladder, come to the left and use this lift, and we are just opened up yet another shortcut. And we're just going to run back and do some leveling. So these are the two guys, the two brick guys from the beginning that we can farm blood vials from. You can recognise where we are in a moment. Hopefully you already do. We're at the lamp right at the start. So we've come back right round to that lamp once again. Again, level design. Amazing. So we're going to go back. And we're going to upgrade our weapon once again. Spend any blood echoes you may have. There we go. So yeah, we have the saw spear now as well. Don't put anything into that. It's not worth it. You can also, because we are collecting badge, you can see there, saw hunter badge we're going to get in a moment. It's where that pig is. We're going to go around the back and surprise attack it. So hunter badges are what you need for weapons, to be able to purchase certain weapons. And you purchase weapons using that bath off to the left hand side here with the little weird baby things in it. So yeah, what am I on there? 15, 15, 17 is where I'm up to at this point. Just kind of spacing it out equally. Some of the weapons can get very expensive. Don't worry about buying them straight away. I won't. I'll do them later on. Unless you want a particular weapon, then yeah, you can leave them till later on, and we'll kind of clean them up at the end with regards to purchasing weapons. So yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, don't worry, we don't have to kill all of these guys again. It's just these two and that one. Oh, that was a bad one. Badly timed charge R2 again. But Rallies comes to our rescue once again. There we go. What do we get? Some blood vials and some blood vials. Good. So sometimes they drop something called shining coins. These you just kind of drop on the floor to remember. It's like breadcrumbs, basically. You put them so you can remember you've already been down a path. Kind of useless. Especially if you're using this guide, you won't need it at all. So now we're back where we came up the ladder from the sewers, and we are continuing on. There is a big ball at the top there. You can see with a bunch of guys in front of it. I didn't think the ball got... Usually, if you kind of run away, and at this point you'll notice the ball gets set on fire and sent your way. But it doesn't. So I think it just got set then. But I can't see it. So I just think it didn't get set this time, which was weird. And I also... I'd already committed to the charge there. So, yeah, what would usually happen is you run away and they all get crushed by it. That's the first time that's ever happened to me, because I am aware of that ball. But I didn't think it was actually coming this time, but it got me. So, yeah, you can just move out the way and let the ball take care of those guys. Get rid of this one. And this one, the shield, has the wooden shield. The most useless weapon in the game. We do need it. We will pick it up later on, though. It's one we need for a trophy. So yeah, don't worry. You're not going to be missing any trophies. You don't need to be on top of it. I will be explaining everything as we go. The only things that really are missable are things like Eileen. So yeah, don't worry. So here we are at the back of the pig, so you drop down this ladder. These might look really, really intimidating, but they're actually very easy to deal with. Just get close to them. If you stay far away, they'll charge, and that charge really hurts. So get close to them and just wait to see what they do. Sometimes they do a belly flop and slam. If they do that kind of sick up into the air thing, you can just do a charge and take care of it. And yeah, once you've done that, you're going to get the Saw Hunter badge and some Coldblood Dew. Yeah, that's what it's called. And then we're ready to leave. So we can purchase some more weapons now. So yeah, if you want to mess around and experiment, that is entirely up to you. But I'm going to be using the Hunter Axe the whole time, pretty much. I will set up another weapon for fire, because that can help with some enemies later on. Specific enemies drop kind of worms, but if you kill them with fire, they don't drop them, which is going to come in handy. You can hold 2 weapons at a time in your slots. There's no weight or anything like that in this game, so you can just hold 2 weapons in your slots and cycle between them using the right D-pad or the left D-pad for guns. So you can hold 2 guns and 2 weapons. So if you want to experiment, feel free. Take care of these 2. Bold Hunter's Mark. Now if you want to just quit out quickly, do a backup save. The boss is up here. It saves having to do the run back, even though it's not a particularly difficult one. And before we go in, we want keep the Molotovs on, and then you want the tiny music box ready to go. And you want to switch to the tiny music box. So this is Father Gascoigne. This is kind of your first taste of difficulty, let's say. Now he is parryable. Like I said before, I don't really parry. I'm not very good at it. You're going to see me try though, so I'll try and prove it. So as he attacks, shoot. So you can see here, I get it, but he hits me and I'm just too slow. But he sort of gets knocked back onto his knees like that. When he does that, so as the attack comes down like that, shoot him, he'll go down onto his knee, and then you run into him, press R1, and you'll get a visceral attack like that, which is something you can do. Or you can use the gravestones and put the gravestones between you and him, and do charge R2s. Or you can use the music box, which I just did then, and it will stagger him like this, and you can get a nice charge R2 in. Do not use the music box more than twice while he's in human form. Do not. So I just tried to do it again. It didn't seem to work. I'm not sure why. So he will change into a beast at about a quarter health. So I'm just trying to manage his health and put him in a position where I can run into him and finish him off very quickly. So if you use the music box 3 times, it will automatically turn him into a beast. So don't do that. You want to keep him human, it's easier. So I'm just trying to get him in a position. Here we go. So put these in between me and him, and then I'm going to get the charge R2. And I know he's going to transform at this point, so I get close, charge R2. Don't worry about the blast, that's fine. And now you want to get away from him, and I time these 2 dodges terribly. Get away from him, put something in between you and him, do the music box 1 more time. That will stun him again. Do a charge R2. It won't kill him, don't worry. Then back away, get your Molotovs out, and he is very susceptible to fire because he is a beast at this point, and that should be the end of it. Hopefully. Can take a bit of practice, just get used to his movement, but there's a few options there. You can use your parry system, you can put gravestones between you and him, we can just use charge R2s. And you can use the music box twice in human form, I believe, and once in beast form, but do not use it 3 times in human form. So here is unfortunately this is the woman, this is the wife, this is the mother of that girl. She has the red brooch, but we're not going to take it back to her. What we're going to do instead is use it, so we don't need to give it back to the girl. So we're going to use it here, and we're going to crush it and get the red blood gem, which is a trophy there. So you may already have that trophy if you got one from the executioner at the beginning of the game. If not, you'll definitely get it now. And luckily, we're going to get the blood gem workshop tool in a moment, which allows us to put blood gems onto our weapons, which is handy, I suppose. And that's what we're going to do. So you should be up to 3 trophies so far. 2 boss trophies and the blood gem trophy. we're nearly done. That's the end of Central Yharnam. We're going to the Oedon Chapel now, and we're not going to do Cathedral Ward next, which is the next area. We're going to go branch off and do a little side area called Old Yharnam, because it's easier to do that first. Basically, the boss is easier if we get a summon, and you can get the summon if you don't do Cathedral Ward first. So get up the ladder, check that note out if you want, try and follow the story, and pick up the Blood Gem tool. And we're going to open up here, going to get a nice little cutscene, and this is another safe area. We will explore this later on. There's a guy to the right hand side. We'll speak to him later on in the next video. And but for now, we're going to go back to Hunter's Dream and sort out our weapons, spend our blood echoes, and just rest for a moment. So yeah, hopefully you did okay with Gascoigne. It is just a case of reacting rather than panicking. React to what he does. Put gravestones in between you and him. Definitely a good one to do. So yeah, I'm going to go to Fortify with Blood Gem, and you're going to go into your Hunter's Axe, and you can see there's 3 slots, but we can only get 1 right now. But as you upgrade the weapon, more slots become available. We only have 1 Blood Gem now anyway. But you can see it's going to up our physical attack by 2.7 and boost our rally potential as well. So even better rally percentage now as well. So we will be switching around with Blood Gems later on. But for now, that's a good one to start with. So we do more damage and we gain more health. So that's all good. And yeah, just do some more upgrades. So we do want to get close to 20 with endurance, but we want to keep it kind of even as well. So you're going to see that I'm almost at another level here. So I'm going to use some of my Coldblood Dew. Where is it? So I'm going to just use this one. This is 350, so I am close. So that's all I need. So plus 350. You can see I'm at 8 insight now because we've done 2 bosses. So yeah. Certain things do change around you in the world, but not game changing, just more cosmetic more than anything. And I'll just show you here as well, we have more things for sale. We have antidote, which is going to be helpful, cocktails, things like that. But most importantly, we have new weapons. We saw Cleaver, saw Spear we already have, Hunter's Axe we already have, Threaded Cane, Kirkhammer, and then we have some new guns as well. This we need to buy 10,000. We will be buying this. It opens up a gate. It's a key basically, but not yet, so don't worry. Have some more pistols and things as well. We have some more clothes if you want to buy those. That's up to you. The only things we need to buy are the weapons. And that's it for this video. So, Old Yharnam next episode, part 2. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.